If you're a dog owner in Richland, I bet this scene looks familiar. There's really nothing better than a walk along the Columbia River with your best friend. It's just the best. And, having a dog who's calm and confident on those walks, well, that just makes everything even better. So, how do you get there? Well, that's exactly what we're going to cover. This is your complete guide to finding a great dog trainer right here in Richland so you can feel really good about the choice you make for you and your pup. Here's a quick look at our game plan. We'll start with why training is so helpful for life around town. Then we'll get into what makes a good trainer, look at the different types of programs, talk about cost, and finish up with some must-know local rules and resources. Okay, let's kick things off with a big why. Why is training so useful for a dog living right here in Richland? Well, think about it. A walk through Howard Amon Park means dealing with geese, other dogs, maybe a few cyclists whizzing by, or a trip to the farmer's market. That's a lot of people and tempting smells. Good training isn't just about sit and stay. It's about giving your dog the skills to handle these real-life situations without getting stressed out. So, you're on board and ready to find a trainer. But wow, there are a lot of options out there. So what should you really be looking for? Let's break down the most important things, their methods and their credentials. You're going to hear this term a lot, positive reinforcement. And it's actually a pretty simple idea. It just means you reward your dog for making good choices. It's a modern, science-backed approach that works really well. And, it helps you build an amazing bond with your dog. So how can you tell if a trainer knows their stuff? Well, these letters are a pretty good clue. Certifications like CPDTKA or KPA-CTP mean that a trainer has passed some tough exams and is serious about keeping their skills up to date. And for more serious issues, like major fear or anxiety, you'd want to see specialized credentials like these ones from the IABC or CBCC. Now, on the flip side, here's what you absolutely want to avoid. You want to steer clear of any trainer who uses fear, intimidation, or tools designed to punish. Honestly, those old-school methods can often backfire, creating brand new problems and really breaking the trust you have with your dog. All right, you know what to look for in a trainer's approach. But what does the training actually look like? Let's go over the different ways it can be delivered. You've pretty much got three main options. Group classes are awesome for learning around other dogs, and they're easy on the wallet. Private lessons give you that dedicated one-on-one help, which is perfect for tackling issues that happen at home. And then there's board and train, which is like a super intensive camp for your dog. What's best? It really just depends on your dog, your budget, and what you're trying to accomplish. And that leads us right to the money question. What can you expect to pay? Let's take a look at the typical costs for dog training here in the Richland area. As you can see, costs can vary quite a bit. A 6-week group class, for example, might be in that couple $100 range. But a multi-week board and train, that's a much bigger financial commitment. These numbers should give you a pretty solid idea of what to expect around Richland and Benton County. But what if you don't need a whole package? Maybe you just have one or two specific things you're stuck on. Well, a one-time behavior consultation, which usually falls in this price range, can be a fantastic way to get an expert opinion and a clear plan to get you started. Okay, for our last section, let's cover some local essentials. We'll touch on a few key Richland rules and then talk about some great places to practice all those new skills. All right, here are the big 3 things to know. First, your dog has to be on a leash no longer than 8 feet anytime you're off your own property. It's the rule. Second, state law says your dog needs a current rabies vaccine and tag. And third, just be a good neighbor. If your dog is barking nonstop, it can be considered a noise nuisance. Good training helps with that too. Now for the fun stuff. Where can you go to work on these new skills? The Richland Dog Park is your spot for safe and legal off-leash fun. Howard Amon Park is perfect for practicing leash skills with all sorts of real-world distractions. And for a great leashed hike, you can't beat the trails at Badger Mountain. Okay, so when you're finally ready to call a trainer, have these questions handy. You'll definitely want to ask about their philosophy and certifications, but also ask how they track progress, if they'll coordinate with your vet on behavior stuff, and be sure you understand all their fees and policies right from the start. So, hopefully this helps you feel ready to find the perfect training partner for you and your dog. Just take a second and think about it. Imagine those totally stress-free walks along the river, or just relaxing at home, knowing you can enjoy everything our city has to offer with your calm, happy, well-behaved best friend. Good luck on your training journey.